Is it safe?
Is it legal?
Is it beyond belief?
Above reproach or below the radar?
Controversial?
From consumer fraud to scams and conspiracies.
Government and corporate corruption? Fact
or fiction?
You decide. Take the litmus test.
We're going to go into part 2 now. We're behind. But we're going to talk swine flu, Gardasil cancer vaccine. We're going to uncover corruption and conflict of interest in Washington, because that's why we're in the situation we're in, right? We're going to talk about have vaccines really eradicated illnesses, and then hopefully we'll have time to address vaccine injury and, of course, our Q&A session. But the swine flu. How does the swine flu, by the way? I don't know. How do they fly? The history of the new H1N1. It's a triple recombinant made of swine, bird, and human viruses. Now, I don't know how those three get together in nature. They got together in a laboratory somehow. There was a little mating going on. I don't get it. But this little piggy went to market. And it goes back to Dr. Jeffrey Taubenberger. He is a viral pathologist. In 1997, he worked successfully to recreate the killer Spanish flu virus that killed so many people during the 1917-1918 flu. Like a dinosaur, it was extinct. Science magazine reported in March 1997, the virus was recently reconstructed by scientists at the CDC studying remains preserved by the Alaska permafrost. They went, dug up a body in Alaska, and got the tissue and reconstructed it. And they called it H1N1. He currently works for the NIH. They've been consulting for many years with many flu manufacturers, creating a multi-billion-dollar business for flu vaccines. In April of 2009, the World Health Organization came out and said, we have a new pandemic, influenza virus H1N1. And again, referencing the flu that killed many people, they called it the Spanish flu, H1N1. It was 18 months, back in the early 1900s. And the WHO said that the pandemic is gaining speed. On Friday, July 24th, 2009, they said, quote, the H1N1 virus, first discovered in Mexico and in the United States, is a never-before-seen combination of swine, bird, and human flu strains, and initially infected many young people, end quote. There's a couple problems with this. This was not the first time it was seen. And they're lying to the people, and they're scaring people. Never before seen, it's gonna come and get you. Okay? You like my little piggy there? Not true. These are two vaccines that have been licensed and on the market here in the United States since 2006. The first one is Fluvarin, and it's made by Chiron, and it was licensed and out on the market by 2006. And the next one is FluMist, licensed in 2003 and put out on the market in 2007. Both of those contain H1N1. So don't be telling me this is a never-before-seen virus. I don't buy it, okay? And at the package inserts, I encourage you to Google them before they disappear. But in the package inserts, if you look under section 8 on all of the vaccines, it talks about pregnancy, nursing, and babies and stuff. And this is what it said about the nasal vaccine. After receiving the vaccine, you may shed influenza viruses through the nose for up to 3 weeks. Tell laboratory personnel that you have used this medication. And they said nasal oral specimens will test positive for influenza viruses during this time. So babies and children and people go in to Kmart or Walgreens or wherever, they get a nasal vaccine. The first thing they do is sneeze. And what do they do the next several days? They're in contact with all kinds of people. I mean, kids are out in playgrounds, nurses go back to the hospital, doctors are seeing people, everyone's being exposed to everybody, and yet they say, you will shed. It also says avoid close contact with people who are immune compromised. Who are the first people they were calling in for this vaccine? Nurses. Right? Those nurses are going to go right back in and deal with all the immune compromised people in a hospital. This medication, it says, is not recommended for use during pregnancy. Oh, really? Then why are we recommending that? But pregnant women have to be the first in line. And it says it is not known whether this drug passes into breast milk. Wonderful. So now all of our breastfed babies could be exposed to some of this. These are common flu shot ingredients: formaldehyde, polysorbate 80, squalene, thimerosal mercury, egg protein, sodium, Dextrose chocolate, magnesium chloride, MF59, which is metabolized oil and an emulsifying agent, citric acid, oxidized fish oil. Fish oil is okay if we eat it. What happens when we inject it? We become allergic. Sodium chloride and sorbitol, a man-made sugar that I avoid, sorbitol.